just want to introduce you to the course format and layout, as well as expectations, and go through the course syllabus. So the weekly expectations here are laid out in each module. So in week 1, you have a syllabus quiz, and then in week 2, you get started in the material with the material and data collection, and you have a quiz. In week 3, you have a quiz on summarizing and understanding data. Um, in week 4, you have a quiz on box plots, percentiles, and empirical rules, and it continues like that until week 7 when you have your first exam. Um, so each week, generally, you have one quiz that you need to complete. And then there's some corresponding lecture notes. I'm going to go through and view this as a student. This is important to check this each week. So for instance, if I were to click on this data collection quiz, um, it will show you some information about the quiz. So here it tells you there are 2 attempts and your average score will be uh, recorded. It tells you the number of attempts you have taken. It tells you if there's a time limit. It tells you the due dates. Please check these things very carefully, especially if there is a time limit and the number of attempts that you're allowed, as those items, um, I've had instances where people have said, oh, I didn't know, I didn't believe that there was a time limit, even though it said that there was 30 minutes, and I said, pointed it out, and they weren't convinced that it was actually a time limit. So if there is a time limit, I want to tell you that that time limit is indeed true. So for this corresponding quiz, here's your recorded lecture. You can read your textbook. You can refer to these alternate textbooks if you'd like. There's PowerPoint slides here and here if you'd like to refer to those. And I'm just going to take this quiz and see if I can find, uh, I'd like to go through something and just point something out. Um, so let's actually just um, return home, and I'll take the syllabus quiz instead. Okay, so notice here it says 2 attempts, no time limit, and there's a due date. Okay, so those fields are important to notice. Okay, so what I want to point out here is that this is a multiple answer questions, and it says select all that apply or that are true. Um, so I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to select this one. So what I'd like to point out is what happens when I select, one incorrect answer and one correct answer. So we're going to see that one of these answers is correct, one of them is incorrect, and that if you mark an incorrect answer as true or select an incorrect selection, that's worth negative points. Okay. So let's do that again. Let's select that one, and I'm going to submit this. Okay. So I'd like to point out in question 1, I selected one correct answer, one incorrect answer. The correct answer is worth points, but those points canceled with the incorrect answer, and so I got 0 points. So be very careful about only selecting uh, answers that you're willing to accept the possibility that if you're wrong, it could be negative points. Okay, so that's something to be very, very careful about when you're taking these quizzes and you have to select all that apply. Okay, so here that happened here. This one was incorrect. This one was correct. That happened again here. Okay. So I selected an incorrect answer and I selected a correct answer. I got 0 points even though I selected a correct answer. Okay. Um, and here I got full points because I selected the correct answer. Okay. So that's the main thing I want to point out is that if you select an incorrect answer, it will be worth negative points, and that will cancel with in this case, the one that I got correct, and I resulted in no points. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to now that I've went through quizzes, something to be careful about, as well as the weekly expectation. I just want to go through the syllabus here, and we'll go through one other thing. Okay. Um, so I'll be posting office hours either by the second week of class. Okay. The main form of correspondence is going to be email. Um, I'd like you to observe these following bullets when you're emailing me so I can best help you. But the thing that is most important for me to help you solve problems is to take a screenshot of the question that that you're having problems with or that you want help solving. Okay. In terms of the textbook, um, this is the required textbook. There's a couple of free textbooks. In the past, students told me that they found my slides and video lectures to be sufficient. I'm leaving it up to each student what level of textbook they need. If they feel it's sufficient for these free online textbooks, that's completely fine to use that. If they want the required course textbook, they can get that. If they feel the only thing they need is the lecture notes and the video lectures, that is up to each student to make for themselves. Okay. Um, in terms of grading, um, these are the items that make up your final grade. We'll go over the signature assignment a little bit later. Notice the homework is worth as much as both of your exams and more than your final exam. So it's really essential to put a lot of effort into the homework, and I hope that in doing the homework, you'll do well on the exams. Okay. Um, your exam dates, there are 2 exams, then a final. They're open for a range because this is an online class and you all have, other classes, jobs, family, other things to work through. But just be sure to take the exams between those 2 dates. And your final exam is open in this period of time. Okay? Um, so these are some things I'll let you read through on your own. One thing that I want to mention is that if, it's hard to make every single deadline, especially, having a full life, other courses, but if you need to submit a late assignment, I want you to complete it. But there is a late penalty of 5% per day for late assignments, just to be aware. So the sooner you submit it, the better. Okay. Um, the other thing I want to mention is that there is a exam review for your first exam and your second exam, but no review for the final exam. Okay. Um, this is a sustainable class, meaning that your signature assignment and some of the themes, data sets, statistics that we consider are related to sustainability. Okay. The learning outcomes for sustainability is that students will comprehend the interconnection between environmental, social, economic systems in relation to sustainability, and that sustainability has far-reaching consequences that affect other disciplines. The other outcome is to interpret statistical analysis to answer scientific questions appropriately, considering the weight of evidence, the scope of inference, and we'll focus that on issues related to sustainability for your final project. Okay. So your final project is your signature assignment. You can complete this in groups, about 1 to 3 individuals. You need more individuals and you have really want a fourth, please email me and I'll consider it. Your final assignment should be 2 to 4 pages, and you're trying to answer this big question. Okay. There will be a quiz pertaining to the signature assignment related to statistical analysis, and it addresses this learning outcome. Okay. In terms of your final grade is determined according to these items. Please note that. So, for instance, uh, if you got a percentage of 93.8, that is an A minus. Okay. Okay, so the major thing that we need to go through is to talk about your final project. Um, so your final project, there is a quiz here, and then this is your signature assignment. I want to go back in the student view, um, and I just want you to note that this quiz, when you click on it, you do have 2 attempts. However, there is a time limit, and this time limit is enforced. If you are not ready to take this quiz in that time, you may consider trying to take this quiz at a later date, but there is this time limit that pertains to this quiz. Okay. Let's leave student view. The other thing that I want to go through is the signature assignment, the written signature assignment. So that signature assignment was a Canvas quiz. For your signature assignment, you need to address these 3 items, and the grade breakdown for points is given here. So you need to address these 3 bullets. You can't use ChatGPT or someone else to write your article. There are some suggestions for articles you could write here. Okay. And I may post one more resource, which is the New York Times articles titled "What's Going On with This Graph?" As long as you feel your article can address these 3 items, you're welcome to write about any topic you like. And that is your signature assignment. The signature assignment consists of a project selection, this written portion, and then that quiz that I just showed you that had this time limit. Okay, and as I explained before, what you have to do each week is laid out in each week's module, generally 1 quiz per week, and then your exams are here. Your second exam is here, and then your final exam. Okay. So I just want to say it's a pleasure to have you in Math 1040, and welcome.